Let me tell you a story, not a fairy tale, not a myth, a pattern, a man with talent, vision, drive. He builds, creates, leads, and then he crumbles, not from war, not from failure, but from the one person he thought would stand by him, a woman. This is not a condemnation of women. It is not an attack. It is an examination of what breaks men, especially those with the potential for greatness, and why the most devastating wound comes from where he believed he was safest. From a young age, many men are trained to believe that success isn't real and message shared, that the image of greatness includes a woman beside him, beautiful, loyal, supportive. And so the man chases not just excellence, but someone to witness it, to affirm it. But here's the problem. If a man seeks his sense of self from the approval of a woman, he is already broken. This isn't about hating love. It's about understanding power and how quickly a man can give it away without realizing he's done it. Jung spoke of the anima, the inner feminine, within every man. When a man doesn't know himself, he projects this anima onto a woman. She becomes his muse, his salvation, his emotional home. But here's the shadow side. When he gives her that power, she doesn't become a partner. She becomes a mirror for everything he hasn't resolved within himself. And when the mirror breaks, so does he. Look at history. Samson and Delilah. She didn't destroy his strength with a sword. She used a question, a smile, and a lie. Julius Caesar and Cleopatra. Antony abandoned Rome for her and died for her. Even modern icons, politicians, entrepreneurs, leaders, they don't fall because of markets or policy. They fall in the privacy of relationships, in betrayal, obsession, infidelity. The battlefield that breaks the man is not public. It's emotional and internal. A woman cannot give a man purpose. She can inspire it. She can reflect it, but she cannot generate it. And if a man builds his identity around keeping her, he has already lost. He will become soft where he must be sharp. He will silence his vision in the name of harmony. And in doing so, he will die slowly, not the kind of death that ends life, the kind that ends meaning. When a man depends on a woman for his emotional validation, she holds power over his soul. And whether she intends to or not, that power can become leverage. Not always malicious, sometimes subtle. You're always working. You've changed. I miss the old you. And so, to keep peace, he compromises. First once, then twice, then every day. Not because he's weak, but because he loved, and because he forgot that love is not obedience. Now watch what happens next. She begins to resent him, not because he is too strong, but because he is no longer himself. The man she admired becomes the man she manages, and she cannot respect what she must control. So she tests him, pushes, withdraws, watches for backbone, and when he no longer has it, she leaves, emotionally or physically, and the man is left with nothing but silence and confusion. Here is the truth. A woman does not break a great man. She reveals whether he is great or simply dependent. The men who endure are those who know their mission, who love but never abandon themselves, who can walk away if needed, not in anger, but in clarity. The man who cannot be emotionally manipulated is the man she ultimately trusts, because power that is self-sourced cannot be stolen. We live in a culture that tells men, turn it down, be softer, be safer. And yet, those same voices turn to stone when crisis hits, when order fails, when reality demands strength. A man must build his masculinity not for applause, but for necessity. He must become unbreakable, not for her, but for himself. Because love built on dependency is not love. It's survival dressed in romance. So what happens when you become the man who cannot be broken? She either rises to meet you or falls away, and both outcomes are victory, because a great man's life is not shaped by what he avoids, but by what he endures, not by the love he receives, but by the love he offers without needing it back. And when the storm comes, and she tests you, and the world wavers, you will still be standing, not because she held you up, but because you built yourself from stone.